Refined rackets with top Japanese technology made in India. Everyone, let's please put our hands together.
For me, I think it's a great moment. Thank you, Mr. Ben Hiriyama, for making this happen in India. Years ago, when he came to the academy in Hyderabad, I didn't know that this was what was in the offing a few years later. For me, for my journey in sport has been in the year 1985. I was very inspired to play sport. Actually, to play cricket. I went to the stadium to play cricket because after the '83 World Cup, everybody was inspired to play cricket. I was also in the same boat. Unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't have admission in cricket, so I joined badminton. That's how sport was back then. Although Prakash sir, for us, he was somebody who took badminton to the pinnacle of world badminton, Indian badminton to the pinnacle of world. He was somebody who was for us like God. We never thought we could emulate what we had done. So in some sense, between 1980 and 1990, by the time I played my first international event, the standards of Indian badminton had gone really low. So low that in the year 1994, just to put things back in perspective, India did not send a team for the Auckland Commonwealth Games because they felt that the Indian team didn't have a chance to be among the top 8 teams in Commonwealth. And this is what Indian team standard was in 1994. Compare that today to what we have achieved at the Thomas Cup is something which is remarkable, which has been the turnaround of Indian badminton over the last 20 years. This, I think, has been phenomenal. 2001, of course, I was lucky to win the Olympics. But to also put things in perspective, 1991, 92, I would remember we had a lot of challenges playing the sport. And one of the biggest challenges was getting equipment. We all would struggle because we were playing with shuttles which were made locally, which had a different trajectory to the ones which were played internationally. So we would be missing shuttles when we played abroad because the shuttle would move in a particularly different direction. And this was 1992-93. Luckily, with India opening up, your Sunrise and Yonex coming to India made a huge difference for us because now equipment was made available to us. We were getting rackets and shuttles and shoes, and I think that has been a big change for Indian badminton, which has brought the standard up over the years. In the last few years, whether it's been 2008, the first time India reached the quarterfinals of an Olympics, or in 2010 when we had our best performance at the Commonwealth Games, or 2012 when India won its first bronze medal at the Olympics, or the 2014 when after about 30 odd years we won our first men's singles Commonwealth medal, or 2016 when we won our first Olympic silver medal, or in 2018. I think Indian badminton has moved step by step over the last few years. So much so for the last 10 years, consistently we've had a medal at every World Championships, and that's been a phenomenal rise. Would really like to thank Yonex for being, like Mr. Sanjay Mishra had said, Yonex has been a integral part of supporting Indian badminton. This is, I think, what he has told is the times or from the contract where they have supported 250 tournaments, but I think N number of us. I remember 1994, I have Bidu sir here, Mr. Bidu Seth. I would be at the Yonex factory trying to ask him for 2 rackets, and he would say, "Ye charle." And this is how those things, and we never had a contract at that time. So out of the contract, they've gone out and helped out so many players in those years.